Hello, hello, hello. This is Ninja Another Color Podcast. I'm your host, DOTTLEY. It is Monday, May 1st, the first of the month. Time to pay bills, time to pay rent. Today, we will be talking about the Knicks lose game 1. Will they win the series? The Bucks got ousted in 4 games. Yeah, 4 games. Should Bud be fired? The Dubs, did they win on the road? The Braves got rained out. 2 games and they're playing a doubleheader today. NFL draft, how did your team do? What would you give your team? And guess what? As a shareholder of Comcast and NBC Universal, Super Mario Brothers the movies has passed $1 billion worldwide. Yes, go tell a friend to see that movie. Make it make more money for us. Alright, I am your host, DOTTLEY. This is the Ninja Another Color Podcast. I'd like to give a shout out to all the people who downloaded our podcast. Ashford, Virginia, San Jose, California, Frankfurt, Germany, Dallas, Texas, Snellville, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina. We got Ghana, we got Mexico, Norcross, Georgia, San Antonio, Texas, West Palm Beach, and the military base in Boardman, Washington. Thank you again for listening. So tell a friend to tell a friend that we are the Ninjas of Another Color Podcast. Rate, review, subscribe, all for free wherever you get your podcasts. We are available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Samsung Music Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, and guess what? Still working on Apple. For our first story, which hurts, it doesn't really hurt, because I posted on Sunday, the Knicks are better without Julius Randle, and they lost. And that was not a good look for me, because I wanted them to win. They didn't win because they didn't shoot well. They had 40 paint points in the first, and then they built a wall and they didn't adjust. That's on coaching. But let's go ahead and start now.
Tony Brothers, Bill Kennedy, Tyler Ford are officials today, and Gabe Vincent will walk it into the front court for Miami. Adebayo with an empty corner 2-man game. Vincent with the midi, got it. Jimmy Butler doing it at both ends, gets the steal defensively. Vincent pulls the 3 and knocks down 5 consecutive points to start the game for Miami. Still on a heater. Here's Hart working against Bam. Adebayo moving his feet well. And Hart with a nice reverse for the bucket. Brunson working against Strus. Got into the paint and made it count.
That's where he lives, Hart.
Into the corner, Strus, one more to Love for 3. And Kevin Love has been a seamless fit for Miami since joining them on the buyout market. Step back 3. Halfway down and out, comes out to Barrett. And his floater is good. Jimmy Butler is yet to score the ball game. Vincent says, I'll do it for you. Knocks down his second 3 ball. He's got 8. They are in the lower quarter, 26th and 29th, respectively, in pace. And an easy one inside by Butler.
Secondary transition layup. Knicks got to get back and get better.
Barrett up high. Robinson! Oh, he caught bodies!
But that's the difference, right? You can get post isolation for Jimmy with Mitch having a guard outside. But I love that transition for the Knicks right there.
Harden left wide open. And the loose ball comes back out to Barrett. Barrett's got to a good start. He's got 8. And Toppin on the break. Lowry probing underneath the Strus. Lowry has Hartenstein on him and cashes into 3. Brunson has Strus on him. Here's Barrett. Well, he moved his shooting pocket, adjusted it. Hard inside, Toppin up top. And he is bouncing. Randle points were going to come from. Well, Obi Toppin has answered the challenge so far. Here's Duncan Robinson off the BAM screen. One more to the corner. Martin for three. Got it. And the Heat back to within 6.
Way to be shot ready if you're Martin.
Grimes from downtown. Highsmith sticking right with Brunson. 6 on the shot clock. Brunson with a floater. Got it. Man, big body Ben's move right there.
So all year, prior to about March, everything was brutally tough offensively. They've relied so heavily on this guy for shot making and playmaking. Good execution there.
Gets it back out to Lowry. 7 on the shot clock. Martin drives it on Brunson. Reverse. Oh, jelly at the rim by Caleb Martin. Wow.
That's when you put on your film session if you're a head coach. This is what we're about.
He is a Tom Thibodeau type of player. Brunson is his player too. Butler out top. Vincent for 3. Whistle, foul, count it. Gabe Vincent from deep in the corner. Pulls up on Lowry.
It's just middle of the floor isolation.
Lowry looking at Butler. Out to Bam on the baseline. Butler with the rebound. Up and in over Robinson that time.
That's a big time finish.
Lowry out front. Open for 3. Kyle Lowry laces it. And he makes it a 5-point game. It's about a 4-second difference with the shot and game clock. Barrett up high. And Robinson with another finish. Down by 7-2. Adebayo, that's his office, and he knocks home the mid-range. Off the miss, here's Barrett. Matched up against Vincent. Man, put his body on him and put him in the weight room. Kicks it back out Love. One more to Vincent. Back to Strus, gonna try the 3. Got it.
That's a good-looking 3. He's going to stick to him like glue, try to make it tough, try to keep him off the free throw line.
Butler off the wide pin down. Got it over Harden, scored it.
Yeah, so just efficient. Jimmy's always going to take what the game gives him.
Butler hit with a double team. One more, Strus for the tie. Got it. And we're knotted at 61. Timeout, New York. Out of the timeout, it's Josh Hart for 3.
So the Knicks have missed their last 10 three-point attempts as Strus gets an easy bucket.
What an outlet.
It's just tremendous pass. Now, I'll say this to you. Well, the Miami Heat have made 6 more threes than the Knicks, as the Knicks have gone ice cold for 3. Can Obi get one?
Wow.
Yes, sir.
On cue. Butler running the baseline. Love from outside. Got it. And Kevin Love. Washington Bullets those. Brunson from deep left it short. And there's another one of those patented outlets. Butler slams it home. And Miami leads by 4. 70-odd feet. Brunson rattles home. Looking for the ball. Jalen Brunson. But Doris, Miami seems to have found its offensive flow a little bit here in the third.
They started to make some shots. They look like they've just settled into the game. Jimmy Butler, nice pick and roll with Bam Adebayo.
For him, a rather quiet 15. Hart goes under the screen. Butler fires on the baseline. Got it! Laces the jumper to make it a 6-point lead.
In both the Milwaukee series and now he's guarding Jalen Brunson.
Robinson battling, but Love comes away. Another outlet, another catch, another touchdown slam by Jimmy Buckets in the largest lead of the game. Smoked the layup. Looks at Bill Kennedy, says he got pushed. Barrett out to Toppin for 3. Brunson out top. He's shown great dominion and sovereignty over the offense all afternoon. And there's another illustration.
Come on now, the patience, so good.
It's Butler. Zeller sets the screen. Butler turns the corner. One more to Vincent. Toppin tried to get there, and Vincent said too late. 12 on the shot clock for Kyle Lowry. Open look from deep. Got it.
This guy is just so tough.
Brunson on the blow by. Got the floater to go.
Looked like Kyle Lowry was peeking a little bit. Mark TV.
All right, and off the turnover, Miami gives it right back. Toppin launches. Knocks it home. And the lead is down to 5. Miami by 7. The Knicks boot it away. Robinson. Inside to Adebayo for the slam.
Incredible patience. It's sounding likely that he's missing game 1 and perhaps 2. That is a massive storyline in that series.
Quickly banks it home. And Lowry has responded for the most part in a big way here today. Barrett with the floater.
He's pleading for some contact fouls. 5 for 12 after they went 20 for 24, make it 6 for 13. Great execution. But this is the story of the turnaround of this game.
He's guarding Barrett right now at the defensive end. Brunson inside. Got the floater. Man, he is so great. And another crucial possession with 4.5 to go for Miami. Vincent pulls. Contact, but he drills it. He snakes the ball screen. Adebayo spins, wheels, got it with the left hand.
They used all but 3 seconds of the clock.
Here's Lowry, 7 on the shot clock. They got to get to work. Off the Adebayo screen. Tough baseline. Got it!
Come on.
Kyle Lowry, the veteran. Out to Hart, left open, and that's an air ball. We'll give him credit for a pass. And the offensive rebound, stick back by Hart. Brunson with the floater. Lowry with 12 points in the second half. A nugatory bucket at the end. Non-impactful.
Yep. The Knicks 101. The Heat 108. Miami stole game 1, but they were dreadful from 3. They missed a lot of open shots, and in the second half they couldn't combat the wall that Miami. All of them were watching Brunson when he drove, like his paint points. Everybody was just watching. But hopefully they make the adjustment, make more shots, and the Knicks will go to Miami and steal back or bring back home court advantage. I guess this was just a bad game they had at home, but I think if they don't make any adjustments, they will lose in 6. But I think it's Heat in 7. The depth and the more skilled team wins. And Jimmy Butler is hurt, or technically he got a sprained ankle, but we'll see. All right, moving on to Game 7. The Dubs, experience versus youth. Guess what? Steph went for 50. Check it out.
And Looney almost cracks the bonus again on the jump ball there. Oh, beautiful pass. Draymond Green for Kevon Looney. And they get on the board first. That was a play they could not make. Great read and anticipation. Design play out of the first possession. Kevin Huerter knocks down a 3. I love the idea of Coach of playing through Sabonis, especially the way that Looney is defending him. Sabonis off to an excellent start. Second time Huerter's gotten a really good look because he's moved so hard without the ball. Curry to Looney. Looney inside Wiggins. Nice little fake and it rattles in. The second time they've exploited the blitz of the pick and roll. The opening, the first bucket, and now that one. Looney and Curry play catch. Curry catches first three-pointer. So they dare him to make that play. He doesn't fall for the trap. A little dribble handoff action sets the screen, creates the opening for Thompson. Murray and Thompson chasing behind. Keegan Murray. Moody played some big minutes the other night. Warriors hoping to get a good performance from Poole. Moody left wide open, lets it fly, and knocks down the 3. 5 early points to Curry. Fox guarded by Wiggins. There's Davis, not afraid to let it fly. Hits a three-pointer.
That one wide open.
Fox searching. Jump shot. That's his first points here in the opening quarter. Curry struggles a bit with it and still finishes. Lost his dribble momentarily and flipped it in off the glass. Fox gets in the paint, kicks it out. Monk chased off the line. Fox lines that one up. Nails a three-pointer. Curry, long distance. That's good. Steph Curry with his second three. Fox drives on Curry. Curry trying to slap it away. There's the help defense. Lyles gathers and hits. Both team now knocking down three-pointers. Green, corner three. That's good. Draymond Green from downtown. Fox, another good pass. Oh, great ball movement here. Monk jump shot. That's good. Another three-pointer for Monk.
Most teams have a guy they can lob it to. That's not who Rooney is. He's not going to throw it up in the air to him.
Sabonis. Malik Monk, not just scoring. Herter chasing Thompson. Thompson gets inside, high off the glass. Looney the rebound, counted on a foul. The offensive board work of Kevon Looney once again.
I'll buy you guys Chick-fil-A for that. I've never seen that before.
Sabonis left wide open and knocks it down. Green trying to set a screen, helps out Curry. Curry against Murray. Step back, three-pointers up. It's good. Steph Curry with his third three-pointer. Nice feed to Green, layup. No good. Sabonis right there. Sabonis with an excellent defensive play.
And Davis with an excellent rotation.
Fox on the corner. That's good. Fox has been quiet. Sabonis to Fox. Fox in the open floor, so dangerous. Finds Sabonis running down the lane. He's made the adjustments in traffic. So he was rushing early in the series. Much more patient tonight. Curry comes right back with a big three.
And they have Green guarding Sabonis to start the second half. Rooney on Harrison Barnes.
Curry pulls back, gets some space, knocks down the three. 5 three-pointers now for Curry. Herter, who's a good, solid defender, is on Thompson. Thompson drives, creates some space, falling away. That's good. Then the toughest shot he's taken, and that's the one that goes in.
These are huge plays. A free throw rebound, and then a jump ball.
Wiggins blocked by Herter. Thompson got it. Corner three for Thompson. Green fires Curry. Curry hanging on to that pivot foot. Scoop layup is up. It's good. And a foul. Oh, a circus shot from Steph Curry. Got a chance for a three-point play. Curry fakes, fires, corner three. No good. Wiggins tried to slam it home. Curry the rebound. Curry inside. Floats it up and in. What a sequence there for the Warriors.
And if I'm Mike Brown, I'm thinking, who is my best matchup against Steph Curry? And I might, even though he has some offensive limitations as Murray hits it.
Wiggins gets a look. In and out. Looney another rebound. Pass inside from Poole. Wiggins shot. No good. Looney gets it again and banks it home. He's a monster on the boards.
It is on the perimeter players. Those are on Sabonis 90% of the time. Get your full body into him and then jump.
Curry, gorgeous pass. Green with a left-handed finish. Thinking a wild shot that time. Got rid of the basketball to Curry and got it back off of the play. Second three-pointer for Poole. Largest lead, 12-point advantage. So Monk quickly gets to the rim. Don't try to get everything on one possession. Yep, still third quarter. Just over 2.5 remaining. Davis goes at Poole. Layup, it's good. Davis with 11 points.
That's perplexing. Standing on his side and then not giving any help.
Fox answers with a three, which has been his specialty all season. Curry against Lyles. Oh, what a fake. Gets inside. Again, a layup is good. Curry dancing and prancing to the rim. Here comes Murray the other way. Lays it up and in. Scoring quickly off a make. Davis, no hesitation. Monk comes in, banks it in, and a foul! 5 seconds to go. Curry double team, finds Thompson. Thompson a three-pointer. It's good, and the foul! Klay Thompson from way downtown.
Sabonis is going to have to look for that little mid-range jumper again.
Curry, mid-range jumper. 36 points for Curry. And the lead is a dozen. Green hands it back. Curry the drive, layup off the glass is good. 38 for Curry, largest lead of the game for the Warriors. They've got a 14-point lead, but still so much time remaining, and don't count out these Sacramento Kings. No one expected them to win Game 6. Fox falling away. Got it. Fox now with 16 points. Green and Curry. Curry drives past Davis, gets inside, layup once again off the glass. Davis trying to swat it away. Curry with Murray on him. Three-pointer. Puts it in! Oh, Steph Curry from way downtown. Looney the rebound. Throws it back up top to Green. Curry wants it. Murray harassing him. Curry just flips it up and in. Steph Curry magic here in the fourth quarter. A 21-point lead. Curry pokes it away.
On the road, Game 7. But as Sabonis scores
18 for 35. 6 of 16 from 3. Gets it back. Curry, three-pointer. Bang! Steph Curry. Gary Payton got healthy. Steph Curry got healthy. They felt they could still win a championship. Sabonis fakes, lays it up and in. Again the double team. Thompson wide open for three. Looney again, taps it up and in. And Green in the front court. Throws it up, and Wiggins throws it down. There's an exclamation point. Just how ironic, one of the worst road teams in the NBA during the regular season will have the biggest road win of the playoffs. As Curry lays it up and in, they still play with the type of hunger we saw here in Game 7. And let's not forget Game 5. Again, they were such a bad road team. There's a whistle and a foul as we're approaching a minute remaining. By the way, with this victory by the Golden State Warriors, as DiVincenzo knocks that down, an epic performance from Steph Curry. And such respect and love for Steve Kerr and Mike Brown, his former assistant.
Yeah, they beat him by 20. They out-rebounded. Stephon Looney was a beast on the boards, and they got out-rebounded. Totally out-rebounded. What they say, when you don't know enough, you don't know enough not to do it. But moving on, it will be the Golden State Warriors versus the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know who will win, but I think they'll play the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals, and I don't think they can beat the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets problem is like the Suns. They have so much in their starting five, they're limited in depth. Alright, we're coming to the point of the show where it's going to get a little philosophical. Okay, what do you consider failure? The Bucks lost in the first round. I think Coach Bud should be fired. Yes, he should. Because they made no adjustment. Just like Tibbs, they make no adjustment to when Jimmy Butler was hurt. So if you don't make adjustments, then you don't win. But interesting topic came up when the Bucks lost at a press conference. So TNT looked at it. So this was very interesting. Check it out.
And we welcome you back. Here on Inside, we've made a habit of referring to what we hear from the podium after playoff games as post-game yakety-yak. Often the players and coaches' responses are predictable, sometimes repetitive. We got to make shots. We didn't defend their pick and roll. We didn't match their intensity, as if they really could apply to any series. But last night was different. Last night, Giannis Antetokounmpo delivered an impassioned answer to what seemed like a run-of-the-mill question, and it's worth revisiting.
Do you view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success. And if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. That's what you're telling me. No, I'm answering your question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why are you asking that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year somebody else is gonna win. Simple as that. We're gonna come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball. And hopefully we can win a championship. So 50 years from 1971 to 2021 that we didn't win a championship, it was 50 years of failures? No, it was not. It was steps to it, and we were able to win one. Hopefully we can win another one. I'm sorry that I didn't want to make it personal because you asked me the same question last year, and last year I was in the right mind space to answer the question back, but I remember it. Next.
We had some great games last night, and it's not often on a night where we have really memorable action on the floor where I just found myself, I was just going back to that. I was thinking about all the things that Giannis had said, and that was one of the most valuable to me post-game bites you'll ever hear, because it makes you think, and it makes you kind of process and say, okay, how do we define what failure is? And I thought his perspective was just, it was a breath of fresh air, and it was great to see in a time that it could have been contentious, and at a time where people always go at each other. He put the brakes on, and didn't want to make it me against you. It was just more like, let me help you understand why I don't think this is failure.
Well, I thought it was perfect for the simple fact, sometimes when you're trying to defend yourself, you do get personal.
And you just go right back at somebody.
Yeah, because you're like, and I thought it was so amazing. In the moment, he says, I don't want this to be personal. And we live in a society today where I got to insult you if you insult me. He took the high road. And the stuff he was saying, are you telling me every person who played, like Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever, in my opinion, no disrespect to Kobe and LeBron and those guys, he was a failure all those years he didn't win. And Shaq is the greatest player on this panel right now. For me to come out here and say, yo, man, you played 20 years, but you only won 4 championships, you were a 16-time loser, that would make me an idiot. But to piggyback, I always laugh when Shaq and Kenny give me a hard time about not winning. I always laugh because, number one, it's not an individual game, but also I'm never gonna let anybody tell me my life. I'm one of the most successful people in the world in the history of civilization. And I think about it when I'm in Leeds, Alabama, growing up in the projects, and now 60 years later, my mom's a maid, my grandmother worked at the meat factory, and I'm like 60 years later, I'm like, damn, you did good, young man.
Yeah.
And so, man, I thought this stuff was perfect. And, man, that guy is a great face to our league.
I'm different. We all know I grew up in a military background. The definition of failure is the lack of success or the inability to meet expectation. Now, when you're the best player in the world, you expect them to win every year. They won 2 years ago. We expect them to go back-to-back, because many greats did. They lost in the second round, but they come back stronger, number one seed. We expect them to win again. You didn't win, didn't happen. Is the season a failure? Yes. Are you a failure? Hell, MF, no. You're the best player in the world. But before you succeed, you must first learn to fail. If you say I played 20 years and I failed 16 of them, I'll say you're right. Because I was expected since 92, being the first pick, be the best big man in the league and to win all the time. Right? So, you know, when you use the word failure and it comes with negative connotations, it's, you know, it may sound bad, but us athletes, that's how we think. If we don't win an Emmy this year or next year, we failed doing our job. We're supposed to win Emmys every year. That's how I feel, right? If I don't do certain things correctly, I fail. It's okay. You can learn from failure. You can bounce back. But that's the definition in the book, and that's just how we think. You know, when I was expected to win, you know, you guys gave me 1 week to celebrate. Oh, Shaq finally got one. Can he get another one? I went and got another one. Can he get a third one? Oh, after the third one, we lost. Oh, Shaq's over, and I had to win another one. So when you're expected to win, that's what it is. It's not a bad thing, and I don't want to, you know, people think I'm disrespecting Giannis, because I'm not. He's one of the best players to ever play the game, definitely a Hall of Famer. But when the mission is not complete, the mission has failed.
You texted me last night.
Yeah. On the
And
way home.
you said that was a TED Talk.
That was a TED Talk.
That Giannis gave.
He gave a TED Talk. And I think the other part that you left out in the definition is it's also something that's a required action. So the difference about failure, if you don't have a required action, did Giannis have all the requirements that he did? Did he put himself in position to be successful? Yes. And the difference between Giannis, yourself, Charles even, you have the ability singularly to change the outcome of something. The reason why I thought it was profound, and everyone's like, oh, talk to kids. No, there's all these self-help books for adults, because most people don't singularly have the ability to change what happens. So then they get depressed. They get all of these things when they don't understand that there are steps to the process. And sometimes losing is part of the process. And when you lose, sometimes you win because you gain valuable knowledge. And sometimes when you win, you actually hurt yourself because you think you're doing things correctly. And so what Giannis was putting into context, what I thought was not for young kids in basketball. It wasn't for to show to your kids in the AAU. It was to talk to adults, how they look at their life. He talked to the man, how he looked at his life, and saying that there are steps, and when you are a champion, that's championship talk. When you are a champion, you are going to take steps in it. And in those steps, sometimes you don't meet it because you singularly can't do it. But did you meet the requirements? If we lose an Emmy this year, did we meet the requirements? Hell yeah. We the funniest show on TV. We're the most informative show on television. Do we come in and know our note? Does Ernie understand everything that was going on? Our producers are great. Our cameraman and Alex produce all it. If we lose, it's a subjective thought. So if you take that subjective thought and you want that, you are a failure.
Yeah, but what bothers me about the whole thing is, in our country, we have conditioned our kids. If you don't make a lot of money, you don't have a big house, you don't have a big car, you're not successful. Well, everybody's not going to make a lot of money. You can be the best trash man in the world and be a wonderful person. I admire teachers. They're the hardest working people in the world. They're successful. But we have built this thing in this country, because you know when you go speak to kids, what's the first thing they ask you?
What kind of car you drive?
What kind of car you drive? That's the first thing they ask you. And I say, yo, man, no, that's not success. I wish everybody could make a lot of money. I wish everybody could have a big house and all that other crap that goes with it. But I say, yo, man, being a good person, if you're a trash man, be the best trash man. If you're a secretary, be the best secretary.
But they also look at failure as not having that car.
That's the point.
That's the point. It's not even success as having. It's failure if you don't have it. But that's what he's saying. Dude, I put in more work than anybody.
You know, he's talking to business folks. He's talking to parents. He's talking to people in every role of life. And I think that there are some people out there who are dealing with things
100%.
where they feel, where there are like mental health issues because they don't feel worthy, because they feel like they have failed. And a lot of that comes from the burden of expectation, and it comes from comparison. Oh, he's doing this or she's doing this, and I'm right here. I must be a failure, and that's not it. Because for some people, the steps are smaller. The progress is more gradual. And so I think it was.
Now I understand why he plays that.
Really important.
Chuck, I get what you're saying, because singularly you can do that, and you might have some thought process to get you there. But 99.9% of the world doesn't. And now I understand why he plays hard, because he goes, I lost, but it wasn't anything I didn't try to do. So he plays. I would imagine Russell Westbrook has that now. Now I can figure out, like, how does this guy play that hard every night?
But you have to understand,
he doesn't back off of it.
You look at where he came from.
Right.
Now, he talks about selling stuff on the streets, growing up over there, and like now he's in my opinion, he's the best basketball player in the world. And he's like, wait a minute. I did everything I could. I bust my hump. Like anybody, like LeBron to me is in the conversation of the greatest basketball players ever. Mm-hmm. And how many times he lost in the finals?
A lot.
And if anybody were to tell that man, because I love what he's done as a basketball player, I love him as a person, I love what he did for his homeboys. And I want to tell every person out there this one thing: if you have all your eggs, your self-esteem, your pride, all balled up into a stupid ball, you're just a fool or an idiot. If your whole life is dictated like, I want to be great at a sport, like, yo, man, this is just a small little piece of us. And I told you, man, hey, listen, I wish I could have won the championship for the people of Phoenix. That's my only regret. Philadelphia's had some. I wish I could have won one in Phoenix, but this notion that I'm not successful because I didn't win a couple more games.
Oh, you failed.
That's crazy.
You know what?
Great, Ernie, I just want to thank you, man, because, and Kenneth said it, the reason we have, because of these people here, a great show, is that we ain't afraid of nothing. We've had some crazy stuff, serious stuff on this show, but I want to thank you for bringing this up so we can have a conversation about it. So,
well, I called Kenny today too, and I said, you know what, after getting his text about, that was a TED Talk, and it was like, we didn't go deep enough last night. We touched on it last night, but that's, we have the grace from the guys upstairs to kind of go along when we need to, and this I thought was worthy of an extended conversation.
You think Ernie the best on television?
Oh, I know he is.
Okay. Ernie's lost 25 straight Emmys. He's won
not 25 straight. But I've lost more than I've won.
Yes, and he's the best.
But
he's the best.
But every time he don't win an Emmy, it's not like other people deserve some stuff too.
Yeah. You know what? And we'll close this out.
Giannis' season is not a failure.
Disappointing. It's a disappointment.
It's a disappointing season, but not a failure.
I disagree.
Well, we can disagree.
That's all good.
I'll close it out. You know what my favorite movie is? It's a Wonderful Life. And you know what happens at the end of it? It's a Wonderful Life. He opens the book and got the message from the angel. No man is a failure who has friends. And Giannis, I think, has a bunch of new friends after what he said after that game last night. We enjoyed having the discussion.
Thank you, Jamerson.
Yes, sir. The earlier hour has got the guys going deep.
Pretty outdone.
All right, that is my contribution for the philosophical discussion of being a failure or failing at something. In my opinion, the season was a failure, but Giannis is not a failure. The season was a failure because they didn't advance far in the season. They got upset because of things out of Giannis's control that his coaching staff didn't put him in the best position to win. So he doesn't feel like it's a failure because he did everything that he needed to do. But for the Bucks, it is a failure because I thought they were going to win the championship. All right. This is the Ninja Another Color podcast. I'm your host, DOTTLEY. Please tell a friend to tell a friend that we are available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, and we're still working on Apple. Rate, review, follow, subscribe, all for free wherever you get your podcast. If you want to support the podcast, the information is listed on the podcast. All right. The Braves are still in first place. They started a 4-game series, but 2 of the games were rained out, and this was the one on the 28th, and they're currently playing at this moment right now. So let's go for the highlights on the 28th.
Peterson has faced Atlanta 8 games, 7 starts, 3-3 with a 4.5 ERA. They'll have to look out for Albies and Murphy, who are hot against left-handed pitching so far this year, and Riley, who personally is 8 for 16 off David.
His first pitch of the night is drilled to short and caught by Lindor, and that's how we begin this one. Acuna was ready, another hard hit ball off his bat, but Lindor there to snag it for the first out of the night.
Olsen, one of a couple of slumping hitters. There's another one on deck in Austin Riley.
And he takes strike 3 call. Got him looking at a curveball, and Peterson has his first strikeout, 2 men down.
Here's the 1-2 to Riley. Swung on and missed strike 3. Went away with a changeup, punches him out, and the Braves go in order. 2 strikeouts for Peterson.
It'll be Brandon Nimmo to start it off against the Braves ace, Max Fried.
And Max coming off his best start of the year, at 6 2/3 with 1 hit.
To the right side, Olsen gets to it before the second hop, and there's 1 away. Right fielder Starling Marte. There's a strike, painting the black on the inside corner to get Marte 2 down.
Well, for Max, this is his 22nd career appearance versus the Mets. He's 7-5 against them all time.
Broken bat. Charging Riley. Lindor runs well, but not well enough. So far in this ball game, 6 up, 6 down.
So 1 up, 1 down, and Sean Murphy will be the batter. Now he's the catcher. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed strike 3. Peterson gets him with a slider, and that's his 3rd strikeout.
2 down for Vaughn Grissom. Bases empty, no score.
Well, Vaughn's been great going the other way this year. He does it again. Makes a turn at first, but he will have to hold there. Marte got to it quickly and right, and there's the first hit of the ball game.
And that'll bring up the number 7 hitter, left-hand batting, Eddie Rosario.
1-2 to Rosario, and the breaking ball bounced on the right side from McNeil. The short throw, side retired.
No scores. We head to the bottom of the second inning. 2 on the way from Max. Have a seat. Struck him out with a changeup. He just peeled Pete Alonso like an apple. 1 down here in the second inning. So 2 down with a runner at second, and there's Tommy Pham.
Got him. Down in the zone, changeup, and Max Fried gets the K of Tommy Pham, and on to the 3rd we go.
Here's Michael Harris, the 2nd center fielder.
Harris had just 23 at-bats before he went on the IL, and he hits a bouncer for McNeil to handle, and quickly Peterson has 2 outs against the 8 and 9 hitters.
So 1 time through the order for Peterson. Pretty good. 3 strikeouts, 1 base runner. And here's Ronald Acuna Jr.
1-2 coming. And he struck him out on a back foot slider. Peterson with a 1-2-3/3 strikes out Acuna. Still no score. There's the chain. That's a big one.
Brett Beatty leads off, lefty to lefty.
And Brett hits one shortly. He's got a base hit. So after going 3 for 3 last night, Beatty facing a tough left-hander gets a hit his first time up, and it's the Mets' first hit of the night.
Got a good swing there. Here's Francisco Alvarez.
Ground ball And Ozzy's going to take it and win the race to second, barely ahead of Beatty. That was so strange how it went right through the legs of Max, and I didn't know if Vaughn or Ozzy would get it, but Ozzy does the job.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now Nimmo, who grounded out to first base his first time up.
And it's a good one. Brandon Nimmo down swinging, 2 away.
2 down for Marte, whom he struck out looking back in the first inning.
Here's his 2-2. Grounded right at Grissom. Short throw to Ozzy, inning over. The single by Beatty to lead it off, but the Mets do nothing with it.
And the top of the 4th inning for Atlanta, it's 2, 3, and 4. Matt Olson, Austin Riley, and Ozzy Albies.
Grounded toward the hole. Lindor on the backhand with a jump throw to first base, and he got him! Oh, wow, what a play! Lindor with his momentum heading out toward left field, making the jump throw and got just enough on it to one-hop it to Alonso in time, and they get Olson.
And they did get him. What a play.
Alonso, though, holding him on. Peterson looks home. Clock down to 3 fires. And he got him swinging. Albies strikes out on a changeup. So that's 5 strikeouts for David Peterson. Well, here's Murphy, the catcher. Runner at first base, 2 outs. First home.
That's line to short, and short hopped by Lindor. Gets the play to second for the force, and that ends the inning. Middle of the 4th, no score.
Max Fried to face Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, and Jeff McNeil. 1-2 to Lindor. Got him swinging. Throw that around the horn. Got him with a good curveball. 1-0 to Canna. Got a ground ball to third. Austin Riley wraps that in leather. Goes the short way to second base. Ozzy's there. He squeezes out number 3. And the fielder's choice into the bottom of the 4th inning. And it'll be a 1-out single for Eddie Rosario.
And here's Kevin Pillar, the left fielder. Grounder. Fair. Right down the line. Eddie's going to be at third. Pillar's into second, and the Braves are in business in the top of the 5th.
Pillar got this off the end of the bat, but was able to just keep it fair. Great angle. Right over the bag.
So time for Peterson to muscle up here in this scoreless game with 2 in scoring position and 1 out in the 5th inning.
Slap to third. Beatty's coming home with it. Now he hesitates, gets it on the fly to Alvarez, and out of the baseline, Rosario is out. I don't know why Beatty hesitated, but he threw home in time, and Rosario ran out of the baseline trying to avoid the tag, and that's a 5-2 put out for the second out.
Going second and third, Kevin Pillar, and Michael Harris to first base on the fielder's choice.
First base is not open, and more than likely going to pitch to Ronald.
The other way, there is hit number 38, and it gives the Braves a 1-0 lead. Harris cruises into third. RBI single, Ronald Acuna Jr.
1-0 Braves are in the top of the 5th inning, and here's Matt Olson. This would be a wonderful time for Matt to break out of that little slump.
Olson to right, and Matt Olson just hit a 3-run bomb through the raindrops. 4-0 Atlanta.
Let me tell you, this cold and damp, that ball was a bomb. And now for Matt Olson, 3 hits against Peterson, all home runs.
Puts the glove in front of his face. Back to work. Payoff pitch is on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. He gets Riley with a slider, and that retires the side. However, although Peterson picks up his 5th strikeout, the Braves scored 4 runs on 4 hits.
Out of 5, Braves up 4-0. Rain falling. 3 outs needed to make it official. Bam, Beatty, Alvarez, 7-8-9 schedule. Line drive, Ozzy's there. 1 out. 1 out, nobody on. The 2-2 for the Braves ace. Swing! And down he goes. 6 strikeouts now for Max Fried.
Here's the payoff pitch to Alvarez. Swinging a liner to center. That's a base hit for Alvarez. Hustling over to get it is Harris on the wet turf. Hurls it in on 1 hop to second, and Francisco Alvarez is aboard.
We go from the 21-year-old catcher to the 30-year-old Brandon Nimmo. Got him. Good pitch location. Nimmo swings and misses. We're through 5. Braves on top.
Well, as soon as the game became official, 5 innings in, with the Braves leading 4-0, the umpires ordered the grounds crew to cover the field, and they got the tarp on with alacrity. The forecast is not splendid for the rest of the night. If we were not to restart this game, it would be a rain-shortened victory for the Braves.
The Braves win 4-0 as the ball game has been called, and it is official due to the rain this evening as the Braves and the Mets played 5.
Yep, the game was called, and the next 2 games were rained out. At this time, it is 6-5. Mr. Lee's on the mound, but guess what happened?
AAA yesterday, and now he finds himself in the center of the diamond, and he serves up a ball right down the middle that Ronald Acuna just jacked way out of here. Did that just go to the third deck?
Got caught in the first row of the third deck.
The third deck for Ronald Acuna Jr., 448 feet, and it's 6-1 Atlanta.
And the Bluebirds are out. I told you, I played here for 2 years. I saw one ball go on the third deck in a game.
Yep. The Braves are bottom of the sixth. Runner on second, one out, Nemo up. And it looks like we may lose this second one. But hey, we're still in first. It is a doubleheader, so if we don't get this one, at least we should get the other one. And the Braves are still going to win the East. Acuna is going to win NL MVP. All right. This week was the NFL draft. Guess what? What I predicted happened. I predicted that the Falcons would improve on their running game, but everybody is up in arms in it. But we're going to get to some reactions from everyone, but I give the Falcons a solid B on the draft class. They reached for an offensive lineman, I think, and they got a steal in the fourth. All right, let's hear the pick.
With the 8th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Bijan Robinson, running back, Texas.
The Falcons did it. The Atlanta Falcons had a highly talented, high-character individual from Texas sitting on the draft board who just happens to play running back in a league that's all about passing, and a quarterback-driven league. A league in which somebody like Austin Eckler says, I'd like a new contract, and they say, go seek it. You scored a ton of touchdowns. Go seek it. And he's still in Los Angeles. A league in which we all know Derrick Henry might be sitting out there. Who the heck knows? But you've got Bijan Robinson now, a top 10 drafted running back in the NFL, and he's going to Atlanta.
Maybe this is a time we can officially rebrand this position for players like Bijan Robinson. Heck, let's just call them offensive weapons. If we have somebody in Deebo Samuel who majors as a wide receiver and minors in a running back, why can't we have a guy major as a running back and minor as a wide receiver? He's got that type of skill set, CD.
You might want to get that trademark quickly. John Lynch used that with Kyle Juszczyk. Remember, he said we're listing him as an offensive weapon. But when you are exceptional, when you are special, all these rules about not taking a guy go out the window. Dave Gettleman called a lot of grief in New York about taking Saquon Barkley at number 2. Ask yourself this question. No Barkley last year in the Giants' playoff team. When you have that guy, you go get him and you put him in your lineup.
And they draft full of exceptions where guys don't meet all the marks. This is a prototype player. I think he's the third best player in the entire draft class. So to get him at number 8, I think not only is exciting, it's great value. For a comp, you see that number 5. Think back to Edgerrin James and those Colts teams. He's that type of dynamic.
Miami wearing 5.
Absolutely, that type of a dynamic playmaker. A lot of times you have to sacrifice. Either you get somebody who's explosive and tight, or he's loose and doesn't have a lot of juice. This guy is very explosive, but he's a real loose, fluid runner. It's a unique combination he has. The short area quickness, stop, start, no problem. He can stop on a dime. You want to make people miss, he did it 104 times this year, more than any other running back in college football. The elusiveness, here's 3 missed tackles, just ho-hum. They can't get anywhere near him to get him on the ground. Another example in the passing game, we talked about that offensive weapon. You can do it out of the backfield. You can split him out like this. Watch the contact catch right there. Looks like a tight end working down the seam, a little wheel route. He can make you miss and make things happen after the catch. This is a special, special player. It's time for Next Gen Stats powered by AWS. You see the overall top draft score. He's at the very top of the list. Again, this is a prototype at the running back position.
The Chicago Bears have traded the 9th pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 9th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, Georgia.
So last year, the Eagles moved up a couple of spots to draft Jordan Davis from Georgia. And now tonight, moved up one spot and snags Jalen Carter to re-team with Jordan Davis on the line in Philadelphia and end this Georgia Bulldogs night. 9th overall, he is, in fact, a top 10 pick in this year's draft.
Nakobe Dean's going to be having flashbacks tonight when he goes to sleep. He's going to be like, wait a second, I've got these two guys in front of me again now as I'm starting at linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the most talented football player in this draft class, and I think if you pulled all 32 teams and just said, what you see on the field, who has the most talent, it's this guy. And this is a team, as Rich said, CD, that was in the Super Bowl last year. This is because of the trade they made previously. Who gets to be a Super Bowl caliber team and add potentially the most talented football player in that next draft?
And DJ Howie Roseman as a general manager has demonstrated he's willing to be a year ahead in terms of drafting. Nakobe Dean, he sat last year, he's going to start this year. He gets his triangle back in front of him. But remember, they brought back Fletcher Cox, who's been a cornerstone of their defense for a long time. Here is his eventual replacement. And last but not least, Jordan Davis. Stamina was the question we had coming out. He played well early, got hurt, didn't play much later. He's got to increase his stamina, increase his rotations on the field. Can he come along with Jalen Carter and give them those two bookends inside for the next 5 to 7 years?
I just watched this guy play, and I marvel at the explosiveness that he has on the interior. He just sheds blocks so quickly. Get to the quarterback. He can produce from the interior. Now listen, are there times when it's like, hey, does it look like he wants to play here? Okay, yeah, there might be some effort, but when you pair him with college teammates that know him and know how to get his motor going, I think that's going to help Jalen Carter. And now all of a sudden, here's Philadelphia, and they got the two premier defensive tackles in the last 2 drafts. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, he's talented. And I would even disagree with you on the play hard point, Joel, because when I watched him, I thought he chased plays. He had an ankle injury week 1. He comes back with a knee injury later in the season. If anybody wanted to shut it down, he could have shut it down, and he was likely to be a top 5 pick if we didn't have things happen off the field. He went out there and played. I'll give the guy credit for that.
Don't forget in the NFL, you won't be playing 95 snaps a game either.
Not on that D-line. You talk about the quickness, the leverage, and the power, and I don't say it lightly when I say Quinnen Williams. That's the type of player. Look at the knockback that he has here against Oregon. A little forearm shiver there to reset the line of scrimmage. The quickness, the suddenness. I wrote my note. This guy like teleports from one gap to another. I don't know how he got there, but he somehow gets there. Look at ridiculous quickness. Again, watch him stack shed and then make a tackle. Another example of the change of direction, quickness. Quarterback's trying to get away from him. Good luck. He is an outstanding finisher once he gets into the backfield. How about fullback? You think that they might have some fun? Nick Sirianni with this one? That's a 3-for. That's a 3-for-1 special with him at the fullback position. Options for that.
All right. Did the Falcons miss out on the best player in the draft? I don't think. I don't think so. I think probably due to raw talent, they might have missed out on the best player, but I think they increased the strength. Just like how the Eagles increased the strength, the Falcons increased the strength. They made their offense way better. I'm talking about way better. You have Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Cordarrelle Patterson, Tyler Aguirre, Algieri, then you have Smith, and you might add Julio Jones. Might not, you never know. But they have replaced a need where you shouldn't expect to get major talent in the later rounds every year. But I guess they did again this year with the corner from Utah that they did in the 4th round. They got a pass. They're just pass rush, offensive line, corner. They got a safety, and I think they got a wide receiver. I don't know if they got one, but they did. But they addressed the need. I think that they did. All right, let's hear from Colin.
With that, we bring on one of our friends, Fox Sports NFL analyst. He played. He was a scout. Bucky Brooks, Panthers, Seahawks. Seattle had a nice draft. Okay, so I want to go back to the argument J-Mac and I had. So he does not like what Atlanta did. And my takeaway is I don't have to love it, but I can get it. And so I think Bijan Robinson, I was told this by somebody I trust, was the cleanest player in the draft. There is no whiff here. He's going to work. And he's not just going to be a 900, 1100. He'll work as a rookie, and he'll get you touchdowns as a rookie. People say they've already got a good young value running back. What would you say to that?
There's a difference between good and great. When you talk to the great running backs, and I've talked to LaDainian Tomlinson and Terrell Davis about this very topic, the difference between a good running back can get you 1,000 yards. A great running back puts you up to 1,500, 1,600 yards. And there's been this debate where people talked about the devaluation of the running back position. When you look at the backs that have gone in the top 10 of late, they all have worked with maybe the exception of Leonard Fournette. When you think about Todd Gurley was Rookie of the Year. He was Offensive Player of the Year. You think about what Ezekiel Elliott did for the Cowboys, 2-time rushing champ. Christian McCaffrey's been all-world when he came into the league with the Carolina Panthers. Saquon Barkley has proven that he can do it. And so when you take a running back up there, if they have the talent, they normally give you the production that you would expect. And so with Bijan Robinson, this dude is a star. He's very similar to me in terms of what LaDainian Tomlinson was when I remember watching LaDainian come out of TCU. This guy can run it, he can catch it, and going all the way back to yesteryear when the San Diego Chargers, and I think LT had 30, 31 touchdowns, could score a million different ways, played at an MVP level. Bijan Robinson can give you that kind of production, and I think it's telling that Arthur Smith, who coached Derrick Henry, understands the importance of having a superstar back in the backfield. I heard Jason talking about the Falcons and a top 5 rushing offense. Think about what that says. He's like, yeah, we're top 5, but I want better. If I get a better running back, we can go to the next level, which is why that was the pick.
And by the way, the more average the quarterback, the more the running game matters. Jared Goff, to me, was never the same when Todd Gurley got hurt and left. He was never. Right. Sean McVay had less confidence every start going forward after that. Okay, Anthony Richardson over Will Levis. I think tape is the most important thing. But I do think at quarterback, from the time the season ends until draft day, you can do yourself favors or puncture your momentum. I thought the gun show by Will Levis, I was told by a coach and 2 executives, turn off. Anthony Richardson was grateful and humble. He penned a letter. I got to be honest. If it was a go either way thing, I think Levis is more ready to play, but I could see it. I could see a GM saying, I'm not going with a cocky kid. Both need fixing. One guy appears to be more amenable to being fixed. Is that fair?
Oh, no. I think it's fair. And I think it came down to Will Levis and Anthony Richardson. The top 2 guys were, to me, head and shoulders above the rest of the guys when it came to it. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, whatever order, they're there. So now it comes down to Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. Anthony Richardson is a bigger, faster, stronger prospect. And so when you're thinking about, because people have made both these guys, they use the Josh Allen comparison. Right. Well, if you're going to do the Josh Allen comparison, I'm probably going to make my bet on the more explosive athlete, which is what Anthony Richardson is. But really, this draft pick to me is more like the drafts we talk about in the NBA. When we look at the NBA, they draft guys who don't have numbers, but they draft on potential, prototypes, and projection. So let's just use Anthony Richardson as if he's Giannis. Okay, so when Giannis came in the league, long, athletic, no one knew that Giannis would be this, but he developed and he hit. And so maybe the Indianapolis Colts are saying, we saw what Shane Steichen did with Jalen Hurts. Yeah. So now we're going to give him a bigger, faster version of Jalen Hurts.
That's interesting.
What could he do? And I'm not saying that I was an Anthony Richardson fan because I thought Hendon Hooker was a better prospect than him and Will Levis. But now that we know where he's at, maybe the thinking is we're going to pour into him like NBA teams pour into their players. They develop them, and maybe we have a superstar in our hands, but it will take time. And so we'll see if it works out. But if it does work out, it opens up the floodgates for all of those quarterbacks at the lower levels that are playing the position that are great athletes but may not be polished. Now you open up Pandora's box in terms of more athletes getting to that position and playing.
Hear that? more athletes, aka black players. They're going to change the rules. But anyway, though, I think it wasn't a reach pick. But here's some funny stuff from Swagoo.
I think Swagoo can relate. Marcus, you okay, bud? I'm sorry, Swag. We had to do it to you. How scared are you of this Eagles defense?
Don't jump.
Oh, you still working? Hey, don't jump.
I ain't scared of them because I ain't got to block them. I'm not even addressing the damn camera. I'm pissed off again. Last night I got fined. I saw y'all this morning. I was in a great mood. And the question on our rundown is how scared of you. I'm terrified, okay? But I'm not going to look at the camera while I say it.
They can't let a man see your eyes when you're saying it. Good thing the back of you looks pretty good.
Yeah, man. The
that
fact
man
that
made an iron.
Bro, nobody in this draft came and thought that the Philadelphia Eagles was going to walk out of here last night with Jalen Carter, bro. Like, we never had a conversation about that. Mina Kimes, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky, and Laura Boogie Rutledge failed me. Because none of them knew that Jalen Carter was a potential pick for the damn Philadelphia Eagles. And now I got to deal with this all season.
The best part is that we just got a shot of the front of you, but you just didn't know about it because our director, Jay, is that good. I mean...
Yeah, that was funny. But hey, I give the Falcons a solid B on their draft. What they did, they put $179 million on defense, and then draft they addressed the offense. I think they're going to be a playoff squad. So anyone who complains about the draft, not putting two together. Alright, guess what's coming up in June? I say June. Take my money. Rise of the Beasts. Take my money.
For centuries, our kind has stayed hidden on Earth. But darkness has found us again. Prime. About the fate of all living things. Unicron is coming. Back up. Oh, I thought we were boys. You want it? Come and get it. You brought a human here?
I'm nobody. I ain't even seen nothing. I'm not even seeing anything right now.
This is not our war.
Optimus, we must trust each other to protect the home we all share.
How big can this guy be?
He eats planets. So, like, way bigger than a planet. Everything you cared for will be consumed.
Maybe there's another way to save our home.
You've never faced anything like this. Let them come. darkness coming.
Yep, Let Them Come. In theaters, June. Alright, we have come to the end of the show. I hoped this was very entertaining to you. This is the Ninja of Another Color podcast. I'm your host, DOTTLEY. Rate, review, follow, subscribe for free wherever you get your podcasts. Give us 5 stars, give us 4 stars, give us 3 stars, give us 2 stars. Give us any stars. If you don't give me any stars, I'll just assume I'm doing it correctly. We are available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Samsung Music, Samsung Podcasts,
Motion detected at the Black Panther,
Samsung Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, and we're working on Apple. And again, I'm your host. Thank you for everyone who downloads and listens. Please tell a friend to tell a friend that this podcast is available wherever podcasts are available. Please, again, check us out.
Remember, just feel it. Alright, you're on Kobo. The Mogul Wampa thing is coming. You're not scared. Show me focus. Good. Not playing baseball. Right. You will take me to the senator now.
You'll take me to the senator
no
now.
less risk.
Mark, you know I don't actually have the force, right?
BD1 says no excuses. Hold it. You get 2 lightsabers?
Well, technically 1, but I can split them.
You never gave me 2 lightsabers.
What? Okay, now use your force powers to pull that sphere.
I really don't need you to explain the force to me.
It was a stormy night when a bolt of lightning forced me off the road. My car skidded into a government laboratory where a top-secret experiment was underway. I swerved into the path of Dr. Chase's molecular transfer ray, causing me and my car to become one.